I'm thinking right now, the drive-by media is once again depressed and angry, combination of the two. Because every day they get up, as you know, and they think they're going to find the silver bullet that's going to send Trump packing that day. Not 6 months from now. They think they're going to find up with something that's going to send Trump packing, resigning, being frog-marched out of the White House, whatever, that day. And yet every day they look at Trump and they see a guy having fun. They see a guy enjoying the job. They see a guy enjoying his life. And they see everybody around Trump laughing and joking and having a great time. And it's just got to dispirit them. Greetings, folks. How are you? Happy to have you here. Rush Limbaugh, 800-282-2882 if you want to be on the program. You know how you get dispirited when it seems like the left is triumphing and winning and the media gets away with what they get away with? Well, they go through the same stuff. Do not doubt me. And I'm telling you that it just happened. Trump convened a cabinet meeting moments ago, just before the broadcast began, and he ended the media coverage of the cabinet meeting right as this program's theme music was beginning. It was an awesome coordination that we put together there. So the president kicked the media out and began the cabinet meeting right as his program was beginning. The media was in there probably 10 minutes. And Trump is just laughing it up and yucking it up. And he's congratulating Gary Cohn, the economic advisor who's resigned. And everybody's congratulating Cohn and shaking his hand, and Trump is complimenting him, and Cohn is just beaming sitting back there. He's not at the cabinet table because his position's not cabinet level, but he's sitting right behind Trump, just over Trump's right shoulder, and just he's beaming because everybody's praising the job that he did on the tax cuts, on the corporate rate side. There was no indication that the guy's mad. There was no indication that Cohn's refusing to be happy, refusing to play ball. You see a bunch of people, Trump and his cabinet, genuinely happy, genuinely in a good mood, with genuine good spirits. And they were enjoying being there, and they were enjoying doing what they were doing. And then Trump went around and talked about various people. He talked about the tariffs. And he talked about all of the private sector investment that is taking over jobs the government used to do, and how they're doing it much better, and how they're doing it much cheaper, and how much he admires it. And the one thing he cited was rockets and space. He said he loves these rich guys launching their rockets. He said it's more amazing to watch these rich guys be able to land their rockets back down on the launch pad and use them again. He said it's almost exciting to see the rockets come down like they used to in the old science fiction movies instead of perishing in the atmosphere during re-entry. He said it's amazing. These rich guys are launching their rockets. We got rockets going up everywhere. And you know how much it costs? And he gave a figure of what it costs for an average rich guy rocket launch. And so the government couldn't come close to this. The government couldn't launch a single rocket for what these guys are doing, launching 5 or 6. These rich guys in their rockets, you got to love it. And I'm just sitting here marveling at this. Because Trump is just, whether he knows it or not, he's just jamming it right back down the media's throat with these televised sessions. I don't care what they are. Cabinet meetings or health care meetings or immigration meetings or what have you. And it's just not supposed to be this way. Remember now, the media think that they're being effective. The media think. I mean, we had stories last week, Thursday and Friday, Trump in chaos. Administration in chaos. White House in chaos. They try to tell us that Trump is wandering aimlessly at night through the darkened halls of the White House. He's pausing at various photos, portraits, asking, what would you do? General Washington, what would you do? President Jackson, what would you do? Trump's not talking to portraits. The only person we know of that ever tried to talk to a portrait was Hillary. And she came out and told everybody she was actually talking to Eleanor Roosevelt. Everybody thought, well, that's normal. And then Hillary told us what Eleanor Roosevelt told her. And, of course, it was all about feminism and undeniable truth of life number 24 and all this other stuff. Trump's not talking to the portraits. He's not wandering the halls aimlessly. He's getting his agenda passed. He's getting his agenda done. And he says tax cuts. His tax cuts are better than anybody thought they were. But these may be the best tax cuts in the history of tax cuts. These taxes, Gary was talking about it. Gary said, you can't believe how successful it is. It's very bad for the Democrats, folks. It's very, very bad for the Democrats. These tax cuts are worse for the Democrats than you can believe. And the table starts laughing and yucking it up, including Cohen, who's a Democrat. We got audio sound bites from Trump. I mentioned that he let the media in prior to the cabinet meeting getting underway, and that it was a raucous good time. And I've got the audio sound bites here as some evidence. Let's start with, I told you about Gary Cohen, and Trump was laughing it up with Cohen, and everybody in there having a great time. But what this bite does, if you're really wondering, why did Trump get rid of Cohen? And the drive-bys have their theory. Cohen, he quit because he hates Trump because he knows Trump's a white supremacist. And he doesn't agree with Trump on tariffs. He knows that Trump's an idiot, and he's lost his ability to influence Trump. So he's throwing his hands up in abject frustration, saying, I can't control this lunatic anymore, so I'm leaving. That's the drive-by explanation for why Gary Cohen's leaving. Here's Donald Trump talking about it.
This is Gary Cohen's last meeting in the cabinet, and he's been terrific. He may be a globalist, but I still like him. He is seriously a globalist, there's no question. But you know what? In his own way, he's a nationalist because he loves our country. You love our country. He's going to go out and make another couple of $100 million, and then he's going to maybe come back. We'll be here another 7 years, hopefully, and I have a feeling you'll be back. I don't know if I can put him in the same position, though. He's not quite as strong on those tariffs.
You heard the answer. Why Gary Cohen's gone right in there, that bite. What do you think it is? What do you think it is? What's he at? He's a globalist. He's a globalist. Trump made the point at least 2 different times. He's been terrific. He may be a globalist, but I still like him. He is seriously a globalist. There's no question. But, in a way, he's also a nationalist. But he's a globalist. Had to go. Tariffs, last straw. Had to go. Not compatible with what Trump wants to do. But, Trump didn't throw him overboard here. Speaking of Trump serving another 7 years, there is polling data today that is not only not good at all for the Democrats in the midterms, it is excellent for Trump in his reelection bid 2020. Now, I know. I'm the one that says that polls this far out don't mean anything. And to me, that's true. But to the left and the drive-bys who live and die by them, I'll take a poll that's advantageous for Trump 6.5 years out, finding that if it ticks them off, if it upsets them, I'll take it. Here, by the way, is Trump and NAFTA and so forth. By the way, this is a prediction I made either yesterday or the day before that I thought what this tariff business really was all about was trying to force favorable terms renegotiation with Mexico and Canada. Here's Trump a little bit on that.
We're negotiating with Mexico. We're negotiating with Canada, the NAFTA. And depending on whether or not we reach a deal, also very much involved with that is national defense. But if we reach a deal, it's most likely that we won't be charging those 2 countries the tariffs.
Bingo! Did I not predict this? It was yesterday or the day before. I think it was yesterday. This was to people that know Trump, have read The Art of the Deal, and are conversant in Trumpism. This was not hard to predict. And there he is confirming it. If we reach a deal, it's most likely we won't be charging those 2 countries with tariffs. By the way, I have another theory and explanation for why there are tariffs being imposed in the first place, and it constitutes Trump being a couple of moves ahead of people on the chessboard. We have more sound bites from the pre-cabinet meeting coming up after this.